So Dana White went live on Instagram today and announced some pretty big fights. He announced this banger right here. Arman Tsarukyan versus Dan Hooker for a 5-round main event at UFC Qatar. He also announced Ian Garry versus the fucking Grim Reaper of Chicago. I'm Belal Muhammad. And there's also a couple other fights that I'm going to talk about in this video. We're going to be talking about Miktibek Orolbai versus Jack Hermansson. We're going to be talking about BSD versus Beneil Dariush. We're going to be talking about Atiba Gautier fighting this random fucking guy. He's literally fighting this weekend, so why not just throw that one in there, I guess. And we're also going to be talking about why Vicente Luque has the worst manager in UFC history for booking him against Yoel Alvarez. So Tony has died. We'll be talking about these fights. Let's get straight into this. The first fight that I want to talk about is Arman Tsarukyan versus Dan Hooker. And listen, man, I'm going to be completely honest. I feel like this is a mismatch, bro. Like, as much as we would probably want Dan Hooker to win this fight because of how much of a badass he's been throughout his entire career, if you look through the career of Dan Hooker, he has lost to any fighter that is well-rounded. I mean, he lost to Islam, he lost to Arnold Allen, this dude lost to Prime Michael Chandler, he lost to Poirier. There's nobody on Dan Hooker's resume that tells me that he can beat Arman Tsarukyan, especially coming off of that brutal hand injury that he suffered in his training camp for Justin Gaethje. So Arman Tsarukyan, who is not only one of the best dynamic strikers on the feet, throwing crazy shit like axe kicks, he mixes it up super well. He has some of the best straight up wrestling. Besides Gamrot, I think he has the best wrestling in the division now that Islam's gone. I mean, you watch his fight with Islam and Gamrot, you know how competitive those fights were on the ground. And Arman, I mean, we look at Dan Hooker got taken down by Poirier. He got taken down by Islam. I just don't see this ending well for Hooker. Like, what is Hooker going to do to Arman? You know? And not to get into like MMA math and shit, bro. But people that Oliveira has beaten, like, for example, like, all right, there are levels to the fucking the lightweight division. There's fucking layers, This is like you ever watch Shark Tale where he pulls out the big graph? At the top we have Ilia Topuria, and then there's me, and then there's Charles Oliveira. Okay, where am I at? Bro, Dan Hooker, somehow he's weaseled his way into the top 6. I love Dan Hooker, and I actually picked him to beat Gamrot, but let's keep it a stack. He didn't beat Gamrot, man. Like, I love Dan Hooker, but that fight was like, I picked Hooker to win that fight, and I am saying that fight was a robbery. Okay? I thought that like Gamrot did enough to win that round. He rocked Hooker badly multiple times in the fight. And Gamrot can't finish a fly, man. Hooker got fucking head kicked by Jalen Turner, almost finished in that fight as well. He could have lost that fight as well. And yeah, the most impressive name on Hooker's resume is Gamrot, and I don't even know if he won that fight. He's 24 and like, how many times have we watched Dan Hooker lose inside the UFC octagon? Arman's only lost twice, and one of them, the Gamrot fight with Arman, that honestly could have gone the other way. So we have a guy that has one loss in the UFC versus a guy who has 8 losses in the UFC. Hooker, he gets injured so often. He's got fucking glass bones. I mean, both of these guys are pull-out merchants. That was one of the first things that I thought when I saw this shit. But I just think that Arman is all around just a better fighter, man. Like, I hate to say it, but he is. Like, he's got better striking. He has better defense. He has better... I mean, please go into the comments right now. Tell me one thing that Dan Hooker does that's better than Arman. He doesn't have better knockouts. He doesn't have better wins. He doesn't have better grappling. He doesn't have better striking. He doesn't have a single advantage in this fight. And he's coming off of an injury. So, Early prediction for this fight. I honestly think Arman Tsarukyan's either going to get a knockout or a submission pretty early. I think round 1 or 2, honestly, bro. I don't like this fight for Hooker at all. He's a bad, like, Arman's also a bad stylistic matchup for him. He's shown he's a level higher than Hooker. And yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. You never know, bro. This is MMA, man. Anything can fucking happen, man. Anything can happen in this world. Well, I think I know what's going to happen. I think Dan Hooker's going to get finished. I think he's gone to close decisions too many times with people that don't really have, like, Jalen Turner. Who was the last person Jalen Turner finished? I mean, Jalen Turner fucking retired. Jalen Turner retired. And, you know, I don't know, bro. I just think Arman holds every advantage in this fight possible. So let's move on to the next one, bro. Belal Muhammad versus Ian Garry. Also known as Hitler versus Stalin 2. I don't know if this fight is going to be exciting. You know? I don't think this fight's going to be very exciting. I think both guys have shown that they're obviously both guys have showed that they're super skilled fighters, but they haven't really showed an ability to finish the fight in a long time for Garry and ever for Belal. I mean, I'm pretty sure Belal is like the only fighter in the UFC that's landed over 1,000 strikes that doesn't have a single knockdown. He has 1 knockout in his career, and it's the fucking standing TKO. Now, I will say, Belal has beaten better levels of competition. He beat Leon Edwards. He beat Sean Brady. And the highest level person that Ian Garry has fought was Shavkat, and he lost that fight. But he lost it barely, and it was on short notice. And I like the things I saw out of Ian Garry in that fight, which is an ability to be a counter grappler and an ability to throw off of the back foot. Now, the thing about Ian Garry is he will use the attributes. He's probably one of the best well-rounded fighters in the UFC. He has great jiu-jitsu. He has great submissions. Not really. He has good grappling. He has good takedowns. He has decent striking. He's rangy. He pokes and prods. He's kind of like a Leon Edwards that has heart, if you see what I'm saying. Like, he actually has a will to win. And even when it gets rough, he's gonna put his like head down and try to win the fight no matter what. So I'll give props to Ian Garry, even though I don't like the guy very much. Props to him. He's put, like, if he wins this fight, you got to give him a title shot. I mean, Belal's the number 1 contender. He will have beaten Prates. He would have beaten. I mean, his only loss is Shavkat. He'll be on a 2 or 3 fight win streak. His only loss being the Shavkat on short notice. He's taken a couple of short notice fights as well. If he wins this fight, you got to give him a title shot. And who really wants to see Islam Makhachev versus Ian Garry? That's going to be dog shit if that ever happens. But I am leaning more toward, like, early prediction, I'm leaning more towards Ian Garry in this fight. I like what he displayed in the Shavkat fight, even though he lost. Shavkat actually has finishing potential. I mean, he has 18 fights, 17 finishes. Belal Muhammad, like, Ian Garry doesn't have to worry about getting knocked down in this fight, you know? Ian Garry doesn't have to worry about getting submitted in this fight. All Ian Garry has to worry about is the takedown. He's in his prime. Belal is getting older. He's coming off of a loss to JDM, which he took a lot of damage. Now, granted, Garry did take a lot of damage in his last fight, but are we really going to say that Belal Muhammad is going to do the same thing Carlos Prates did? Belal Muhammad has never dropped anybody. You know? The only times Ian Garry has been in trouble in his UFC career is when he's been dropped. You know? Like, he's dropped rounds before, like the MVP, to Prates. But those are the only times he's been in trouble are on the feet, you know? And so Belal, who does have very good boxing, he doesn't have power. So Ian Garry doesn't have to respect Belal's power. He's going to be able to throw back and land on him. And I like what Ian Garry has shown in the realm of takedown defense against Shavkat. You know, he has shown, I mean, he's been super active. You've got to give him his respect. Early prediction, Ian Garry by decision. Now, I don't know if this is 3 or 5 rounds. You have to assume it's 3 rounds because it's a fight night. If they put 2 5-round fights on a fight night, that'd be kind of crazy. That's just straight up glazing Qatar. If they put 2 5-round fights on a fight night, that is straight glaze. But the fact that it's 3 rounds, I also favor Garry because Belal, he's been in 5-round fights in his last couple of fights. He has a better opportunity to win when he does it like this, When if it's a 5-round fight, Belal has a better chance because he has more rounds to just fucking hug his opponent, And so, early prediction, I think Ian Garry will win the first 2. Belal will win the last round. 29-28. It's a close fight. I might switch to Belal later, but early prediction, I think Ian Garry should secure the W. The next fight that the UFC announced was Benoît Saint-Denis versus Beneil Dariush. And I'm going to be completely honest. I think I'm going to pick Benoît Saint-Denis in this fight. Now, don't get me wrong. If this was prime Daruish, I think that he would win this, okay? I think he has really good takedown defense. I think he has really good striking. Like, you look at the Gamrot fight with Daruish. If it was that version of Daruish, I would 100% pick Daruish, Because he's just stuffed all of Gamrot's takedowns. He got stuck on the feet with him. Gamrot doesn't have as good a striking as Daruish. And I could see the fight going similar to that if this was prime Daruish. But Daruish, in his last 3 performances, he's not been looking good, bro. Let's keep it a stack. In his last 3 performances, he's been dropped in all of them. He got knocked out by Oliveira. He took a year off, and then he got knocked out by Arman Tsarukyan, and then he took a year off, and now he fought Moicano. He got dropped on the feet by Moicano. I know he won the fight, but he got dropped on the feet by Moicano. I think that someone like BSD, who possesses unnatural power, who on the come up was putting people away left and right. Now, I will say I do think Daruish is just a fundamentally better striker than BSD, but I don't think he possesses the power of someone like Poirier, who can just one hit knock out BSD. I don't think he possesses. Now, I don't know if he could just take Daruish down at will, kind of like Moicano did. But you have to remember that BSD won the second round of that Moicano fight. Once that, you could just say Moicano knew BSD's face was swelling and that's why he coasted. But even if Daruish gets BSD down, BSD's not going to quit. I don't think Daruish really has insane ground and pound ability. He's 40 years of age. He's a fucking 40 years of age. This dude is old. Daruish, he's on the decline. BSD is just coming off a very impressive win over Ruffy, who I've not given up hopes on. I still think Ruffy is going to be a good fighter in the division. Don't get me wrong. I just don't see this going well for Daruish, who has suffered a lot of damage in his last couple of fights. I know we have the meme about BSD. He's a marauder. He is a marauder. I'm not switching up, bro. I still, I'm going to keep it real. I don't really hate BSD. BSD was always my friend. I've done a lot of hating on BSD, but that's just because he's been fighting people that I like. Poirier is literally my favorite fighter of all time. Moicano follows me on Instagram. I've DM'd him before, and we talk a little bit. What's the other? Fucking Ruffy, Fighting Nerds hype. I loved his style. Literally just fights like Connor. And so I rooted for BSD versus Prepelec. Don't get me wrong. So the people I've picked BSD against are people that are some of my favorite fighters. I don't give a fuck about Daruish. I know I'm Iranian. Tony has died as is secretly Iranian. I know the lore. All right. But keeping it a stack, man. I just think that, man, I don't know what the fuck Daruish is going to be able to do. I just think it's just a matter of time before he gets chinned again. He's going to get hit by BSD at some point in this fight, and he's going to go out. That's how I see it. And so, yeah, let's talk about the next one. The next fight we're going to talk about, dude, whoever made this fight, I want whatever they were smoking. I want to know who the matchmaker was that made this shit up. This is like some fucking UFC 4 randomized bullshit, bro. This is like you and your friend are playing Mortal Kombat. Y'all both click random. It's like, this is not something we ever wish for. It doesn't make sense ranking wise for either guy. Like, what is this shit, dude? So, Mikhtibek Orolbai, he's coming off of a win over Tafik Masayev in his last fight where he missed weight. He was a 155er. He missed weight. And so, the UFC probably told him, you need to be a 170er now. This is the second time you've missed weight. You have to go up a weight class. Which is fair enough, bro. He was a big 155er. He'll have lighter man skill at 170. He can make some moves. I love Orolbai. Fair enough, bro. How is Jack Hermansson going to make 170? How is Jack Hermansson going to make 170 pounds? He's fucking huge. And, bro, early prediction, I'm not even trying to glaze here. I think Orolbai is going to knock him out. Hermansson's coming off a knockout to Gregory Rodriguez, who I know has a really high knockout percentage. Don't get me wrong. And there's nothing wrong with getting knocked out by RoboCop. But I think the turnaround is just too fast for Hermansson. I think the weight cut is going to worsen his chin even worse. In Orolbai, he's going to be in his prime, best shape of his career. He's going to be fighting Jack Hermansson, who's weight drained. Like, why? How old is Jack Hermansson? He's like 30, 39, 38, 40 something. How is he going to fucking cut an extra 15 pounds at this stage in his career? Please, someone answer that to me. How is Jack Hermansson going to do that and still have a chin after coming off a knockout loss like he did against Gregory Rodriguez? I don't like this fight for Hermansson, which is good for me because, I'll take the free W for Orolbai. Don't get me wrong. I think that Orolbai, he's just going to be too fast for Hermansson in this. Now, Hermansson, he'll have the size advantage, bro. When is the last... Hermansson couldn't even... who was the last person Hermansson finished? Yeah, he beat fucking Kelvin Gastelum, bro. I guess he beat Joe Pyfer. That's impressive. But that was because it was 5 rounds. If that was a 3-round fight, he would have lost. He beat Ronaldo Souza. Oh, shit. I'll take 3-1 Orolbai, who has a lot of fucking hype and aura. I don't care that he lost to Rebecca. Rebecca's still a good fighter. I'll take the fucking Orolbai all day, bro. I love Orolbai. If you're not looking at my fucking profile picture right now, I love Mikhtibek Orolbai. So yeah, let's move on to the next one. And if you're not already, just follow Big Marcel on Instagram. Because Big Marcel, he posts literally every fight that gets announced. I don't know why I'm even gonna. I just wanted to make fun of this shit. All right, let's be honest. I just wanted to make fun of this fight because this is Atomic Bomb versus Crying Baby. This is like, oh man, this is like the fucking, this is like your grandma versus a train, bro. Like, let's keep it a stack. This fucking random guy, Tristan Weiss, who is just some random guy, bro. He's just a random normal guy like me and you. Hey, you watching the video? You're going to fight Atiba Gautier, undefeated, Cameroonian steroid monster. I don't think this makes sense in any fucking world. I know it's short notice. Just cancel the fight. And I guess Atiba still wants to fight. I guess your plan was to get him another knockout. You did it, bro. You got him another knockout. I won't be surprised if Gautier becomes an even bigger. He was already a 1,000 favorite, What can I say, bro? What else can I fucking say, bro? And the last fight we're going to be talking about, Vicente Luque versus Joel Alvarez, another lightweight who no longer could make the weight of this weight class, moving up to take on a 170er veteran in Vicente Luque. Now, Vicente Luque, he was originally supposed to fight, pretty sure it was Santiago Ponzinibbio, right? Luque was originally supposed to fight Santiago Ponzinibbio. And honestly, that was a good fight for Luque. He's coming off of that loss. Fair enough. That's a good fight. This is just evil. This is like Joel Alvarez, who has one of the highest finishing percentages in all of MMA. Pretty sure he has like a 95% finish rate. He was on a crazy win streak at lightweight. One of his only losses is to Arman Tsarukyan. This is gonna be bad for Luque, who is somehow washed at the ripe age of 33 years old. Now, he does have a win over Belal Muhammad. Don't get me wrong, that's aged pretty well for him. But Luque is not the same Luque ever since he got that brain bleed against Jeff Neal. And I feel like this is just more damage waiting to happen. I feel like this is just whoever's Luque's manager needs to be publicly executed. They need to be hung. Someone needs to sit Luque down and be like, man, you don't have to take every fucking fight, man. You're going to get pulverized by Joel Alvarez, you know? I like Luque, but there's no way he wins this one, man. Alvarez is going to have lighter man skill. He's going to have speed. He's going to have strength. What else is there more to say, bro? And the final thing I want to say about this fight is now that we know that Arman Tsarukyan isn't getting the title shot, we are not going to see Ilia Topuria until next year. And if we do see him again this year, we know who he's going to fight. It's Justin Gaethje now. That's the only person that makes sense. They are going to give Justin Gaethje another title shot for beating fucking Fiziev. It makes no sense. You know, Gaethje low-key deserved the title shot when he fought Max Holloway. I get that. But he got knocked out by Max Holloway. He fought for the BMF. He got to be on UFC 300. That was the fucking reward. And he acts like that's an exhibition fight. So they're probably going to end up giving Gaethje the title shot now that Arman's fighting Hooker for a number one contender. Now, this is a number one contender fight in every way. And the winner of this will be fighting Ilia Topuria. But, bro, no one wants to see Gaethje versus Ilia, bro. Like, we just know how that will end. And they're going to try to sell it to us. I already know it, so. That will do it for the video. If you like the video, like, subscribe, do all that YouTube shit. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.